All right, what's going on, everybody? So we didn't have Let's Start Sundays today. I was taking a nap with my daughter, and I woke up and it was like, all right, it's already 6 o'clock. So what I just determined was I was going to just give my video breakdown on what I was looking for this week. So last week we were here where we were looking for price to potentially push down, um, because we had this impulse breaker structure, and we was looking for a continuation back into this area that got broken, and then we look for a retest to buy it up. Obviously, we didn't get the pullback that we wanted last week because we were looking for price to, like I said, come back here. We didn't get that, so price just continued to elevate. And then currently, where we are at on gold, Friday we had a lot of consolidation, but overall, to end the week, we still been in this fluctuation area where we haven't been breaking any highs or breaking any lows. We kind of just been consolidating on the weekly. Going down to the daily time frame, you can see that we have been forming these like lower high points. We had a lower high here, and now we formed a lower high here. So I'm interested to see how price reacts in this area to see if we get a push to the downside from this particular area. So like I said, overall, we still in this overall consolidation though. And then on H4, you can see that this starting to look good. We starting to form a ascending channel. So I can turn my annotations back on. We starting to form a ascending channel, and then we also have like this trend line that got broken and retested here. It got retested multiple times, but overall it still is being maintained. And then you can even see that the structure here was forming as such. So we had an impulse, now we had a correction. So we see if we get a continuation. But that's just for this 1 hour structure. Even though I'm on H4, this is still 1 hour structure. Like I said, we've been having all of this consolidation on Friday, but this is forming a ascending channel ultimately as such. And then currently where we are at now, we're sitting on this trend line. Well, we just broke this trend line, I should say. So that's something I want to be mindful of on my H1 structure. And then going down to M30, we can look at our structure. So we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So as you can see, we have broken this structure just now with this little push. I was looking for sales originally on Friday, but we had all this consolidation. It was just not enough data to say. But now that we have this break, what I'll be looking for going in the London session is for price to push down a little bit further, come back to retest, and then we'll sell that off, and that'll be a nice sell off on gold to start the week. So overall, that's what I'm looking for. I don't have enough data yet to draw a fib yet because the price hasn't begun to pull back. But once I get price to start its correction phase, then I'll be able to draw a fib like such. So once this begins to pull back, wherever this stops at, I'll be able to place a fib. And then, like I said, we'll be looking for like a break retest and then sell it down. So that's what I'm looking for on gold. So let me give you guys a ghost pattern. So our first target areas are these levels of resistance and previous support. So I'm gonna put this at this level of support. So support. That'll be our first target that we'll be looking to target on gold. Like I mentioned, I want to see a pullback, so something like this. That would be ideal, but let me do it a little bit smaller. I don't like that one either. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's go for this one right here. Wow. Okay, I like that one a lot better. All right, so break, retest, then we'll sell that down and look to target here. And that's pretty much what I'll be looking for. And then, of course, y'all know I always mention having a bullish and a bearish bias. So if we break above here, break these highs, come back to retest, then we're looking for price to continue to push up. But I'm looking for majority sales going on for gold this week, because like I mentioned, we have divergence here, RSI, like such. So given a good setup. We've been waiting on these sales for a while, so we'll see how that overall goes. And then breaking down to NAS. So last week we were here. We talked about the blue being the first portion and then the green being the second. And then we said watch price in the zone for potential sales. Obviously, we didn't get any sales in this area. We just we were continuing to form higher highs and higher lows all throughout this area. So right now, currently where we at, let's go to the weekly time frame. We're very bullish. You can see this weekly candle was super bullish. So it's a lot of bullish momentum. Daily time frame, still a lot of bullish momentum. We have bullish engulfings, bullish variations all throughout this area. And then currently on H4, we are almost at the highs. So we can mark this off. NASDAQ has been really pumping, really giving a lot of bullish momentum. Now on our H4, we can put this trend line here as such. That's something to be mindful of because we might get like a bounce off of it. But other than that, I see this as bullish, and I'm gonna delete this fib because, like I said, I'm looking at price very bullish right now. Now going, like once we get, Diamond, be quiet. Sorry if my dog is barking in the background, but overall, if we get a respect to this trend line, then I can see this pulling back. So something like this, even targeting these highs that it broke. So doing something like such, break, well not break, but retesting this area and then coming back into this area before making a new high. So that'll be what I'm looking for. If we don't target that area, then the next target area will be this one right here. So those are two areas that we could potentially see NAS pull back to before potentially continuing. Now, not saying that fib that I had drawn was invalid, but it's one of those things where we already surpassed 88.6. So, in the way that we closed bullish last week, I don't think that we will respect that fib anymore. But you never know. So, this trend line is even a good area to look to bounce off of as well. So, we'll see how the market plays out. But I pretty much what I'm just looking for is a pullback and a continuation to upside. And I don't like that one. That one had a gap. Let's look at something like this, where we pull back and then continue to make a new high. So that's what I have on NASDAQ. And then right now, based off of the structure, there is no real sell opportunities on H1. On M30, we break beneath. Really, it's no really sell structure. Anything under here really is the sell, but I don't like any sell structure just yet because we super bullish. So that's what I have on NASDAQ. And then I only put this to go to the high because we don't know if it's going to surpass the high. So this is still a solid, from here, 250 points. So that's what I'm looking for on NAS. And then last but not least, US30. So last week we were here. We talked about this pushing up, breaking this, and retesting. We didn't get the retest like we wanted to when it first pushed up, but then eventually this came over, broke, retested this area, and now it's pretty much playing out the way we wanted it to. And then we were looking for a price to sell here, but we only got a little sell-off before price ended up respecting this trend line. So now, based off of where we at, I can definitely see this playing out with this fib here. So this is a 50% retrace. I'm gonna remove this fib. It should look like a break and retest of a trend line. So that looks solid to continue to go up. Now our job is to see where we can take advantage of this. We have this level here that we can look potentially to pull back to, but let me go on the weekly time frame first and take a few looks at things. So weekly we still bullish. Daily we had a bullish variation, so this is a good indication that we can continue to go higher. H4 looks good. Now the only thing that we have on H4 is that we broke this low, so impulse correction. We could get a continuation up here and then have a nice sell zone somewhere up in this area based off of this fib structure. So there's like negative 27 is a nice solid area where we could potentially look for sales on US30 after we play out this week. So that's something that I'm taking note of. And then this looks good. This really looks good to continue to go to the upside. So I'll give y'all a ghost pattern as such. Look for a little minor pullback and then continue to go to the highs. And then once we break above here, then we can look to target negative 27. But if we don't break above, then we don't just assume that it's going to that negative 27. And then anything for sales is not really any structure to take sales right now. So anything under here will be a selling opportunity. So that's what I have for US30. Hopefully this video was helpful. It was about 11 minutes long. So just make sure, well, if you got to this point, then you watch the whole video. But overall, I'll be continuing to update you guys in the Telegram chat, of course, and then inside of the free signals chat as well. Y'all definitely get all the trades that I take this week. My apologies for missing the Let's Start Sundays. Like I said, I'm dealing with this newborn, and we had a day today, and she had me tired. So I was asleep during the time. I went to sleep at like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then woke up and it was already 6, and I'm like, oh shoot. So with that being said, everybody go out and kill it this week. We have a lot of potential moves. We have CPI this week. So you can see on Tuesday, CPI. And then we also have PPI on Thursday. And then inflation expectations and consumer sentiment on Friday. So a nice, fun week ahead. But be on the lookout for that, and look inside the Telegram chat. If you aren't in my Telegram chat, the link is in the description for people that's watching this on YouTube, and the people that are in my Telegram chat, y'all just make sure you got your notifications on, because we about to get some money this week, chat. Peace out.